Today we want to take a closer look at a special quattro drivetrain version, the Audi V8. In the previous part we learned how Audi developed the quattro system from previous experiences and how they developed it further during the production of the quattro coupe. So from 1987, Audis with quattro all-wheel drive system had a self-locking mid-differential, the torsion differential, and you could still manually lock the rear diff. Piëch wanted more and positioned Audi even higher. A first step was the Audi 200 with 5-cylinder turbo engine. But to really compete with BMW and Mercedes, Audi needed a model which clearly separated from the smaller Audi 100. So they developed the Audi V8, which was still based on the Audi 100 C3 from 1982, but 90% of the body were V8 specific parts. And as the name states, to finally match the competition in the luxury class, they needed a V8 engine, which Audi didn't have at that time. Technical director Piëch was an engine guy and had the idea to put two Golf GTI engines together to a 3.6-liter V8 with 32 valves. The result was the lightest and most compact V8 engine of its class, and an engine which was running a lot smoother than the 5 cylinders, which was more appropriate in this luxury limousine. The important selling point for the V8 was the quattro all-wheel drive. Until now, Audi only offered quattro for manual gearboxes with their two-shaft design and the hollow output shaft. But in the luxury class, the car needed to offer an automatic gearbox. And automatic gearboxes work with sets of planetary gears, so the hollow shaft design didn't work anymore. So the job was now to design a 4-speed automatic gearbox for a quattro all-wheel drive, and also with a center diff. But somehow the power needed to be transmitted to the front axle. Another requirement for this luxury car was that the driver wouldn't have to control anything manually. The quattro all-wheel drive should be fully self-regulating. So first of all, they designed a standard automatic box with 4 gears and a torque converter with lock-up clutch. Then they added 2 boxes at the back. The gearbox output shaft goes through the first box and drives planetary gears in box 2, which transmits the power 50-50 between front and rear. The prop shaft to the rear axle is connected through another pair of gears, and the front axle is driven through 3 gears in box 1, which transmits the power to the right-hand side to a small prop shaft which sits parallel to the gearbox. The front differential is sitting on the right-hand side between torque converter and gearbox. So this was exactly the design they wanted to avoid 10 years earlier, because they said it's too big and heavy. But with an automatic gearbox, the hollow shaft design wasn't possible. The result was that they now had a car with automatic gearbox and quattro all-wheel drive, but also a significant blister in the foot compartment on the right-hand side. Interesting is the way how they locked mid and rear differentials. As we said, the all-wheel drive system should work fully automatically, and so they added a multi-plate clutch to the planetary gears in the center diff, which was electronically controlled. So if the wheel speed sensors recognized slip, they closed the center diff. That was a much more complex solution than the torsion diff on the other quattros, but the advantage was that as soon as the driver braked, the clutch could open the center diff, and the ABS system, which was now on board, could work freely without any interference from the center diff. And to do that, an electronic system was a lot faster than the standard torsion differential. And also, it locked the diff 100%, where the torsion diff is always set to a certain ratio. Nevertheless, there was still a torsion differential on board, in the rear diff. So the slower rear wheel always gets more torque and the driver doesn't need to press any buttons. Everything works automatically. So that is a very different quattro system from what we've seen so far. There is a different center diff, a different rear diff, a different way of how to drive the front wheels, and the system is electronically controlled for the first time without any driver input. The Audi V8 was Audi's first car in the D segment, so the luxury class, and they wanted to do it properly. The V8 was presented in 1988, the year when Piëch became Audi CEO, with a fully galvanized body, permanent all-wheel drive, and many options by default like automatic gearbox, air conditioning and leather seats, which you had to pay extra at BMW and Mercedes. The result was that the V8 starting price was around 30% higher than the competition. It was based on the 1982 Audi 100 C3, where the new C4 was released shortly after in 1990, so the V8 appeared outdated pretty quickly. But again, Audi gained lots of experience with the V8 and it's a special quattro design. In the background they already prepared the new fully aluminium Audi A8 for 1994. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please consider to become a B-Sport Club member for early access and more videos like this. See you at the next one.